Welcome back, everybody. All right, so we've been out of the shop here for a little bit, but we were back in last night, and we made more of a mess. So this bike, the front shocks, I don't know if you remember on the previous video, but they were blown, they were leaking oil, so we are rebuilding those today. So I thought we were recording last night, which was kind of a bummer because we had the GoPro set up, but the battery died, and looking at the footage, it wasn't there. So you don't get to see us take the shocks off, which was pretty fun to do, but not horrible. But you'll get to see us put it back on this bike. So we've got both shocks off. We also had an exhaust bolt that broke right there. So we had to drill that out and re-tap it so we can get our exhaust bolted and mounted back up here in just a few minutes. And then we had to take off that exhaust so we can do an oil change on this and get this all cleaned up and shiny again because it is a dirty, nasty mess right now. But that's kind of where we're at on this bike. It is running. Everything seems to be firing really well on it. We got the gas tank. We soaked it in some Evaporust and had it sitting for the last 3 days, and finally drained that out today. Filled it up with a little gas, swooshed it around, and now it's sitting right over here, right there, hiding. So hopefully that'll be ready to go here in just a little bit. Maybe we can get this bike done tonight or even tomorrow. Take it out for a ride this weekend. We do have the front tire, so we got to change the tire on this. Sorry, you're looking through a ladder. So yeah, we're working on that. On this bike, remember this was our dirt cheap $400 bike. I don't remember, 300, something like that. We got this one taken care of. We pulled the clutch. The clutch was kind of nasty. They had clearly taken the clutch cover off this bike and let it sit, so it was full of dirt and dust and grime and all sorts of nastiness. I do have footage of that, so we'll add that in the next video of us taking that all apart and getting it all cleaned up. This bike, we did put on a oil relocation kit so that you don't have to remove the exhaust every time you want to change the oil, which I'm excited about. But we're short some bolts. We're short 2 bolts there, and we're short 1 bolt on the bottom there. So we're waiting on the new bolts to come in for this bike, and so it's kind of sitting there. And then once we get a little oil in it, we can test this thing out, see if we can get this thing to fire. Otherwise, this thing's going to be, it'll end up just being a parts bike for the time being. Maybe we'll tear it down. I don't know. But right now, my garage is a mess and make my skin crawl, so we got to get one of these bikes done, get it out of here so I can have a bit of my garage back. Problem is, you wait on parts and they don't show up, or they take a week, so you start working on a second project, then that one's got parts that you're waiting on, so you start working on a third project, and we're putting up these hex lights, get a little bit better lighting in here, and that's why the ladder's there. We got about half of it done over the weekend, and so we'll finish that up as well this weekend, get everything kind of cleaned up and looking good, get a few of these bikes out and riding. Anyway, thanks for tuning into this short little video. We're going to start working on these front shocks, which are right here. They're currently draining the oil, but they're about done, so we're going to take these out, get this all cleaned up and degunkified, start tearing them down. Well, I was hoping to show you fork seals, but TW200 fork seal kit. They sent us the wrong one, so we've got one fork completely torn apart, all the parts ready to go, and went to grab my fork seal kit and just opened up the box and noticed that they sent us the wrong one. Double checked to make sure that we had bought the right one, and we did. So, unfortunately, this thing is going to be sitting here for at least a freaking week. So maybe we'll work on the lights, But as for right now, we're dead in the water. We ordered bolts for that bike. Kind of a race to see which one gets here. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Catch you next video.